Thank you very much. Yo, salute to everybody already here in the building, man. You guys know what time it is. We are back. Welcome to the latest installment of Coffee and Convo. I am your host, Graphk Raider, man. Salute to the greatest chat in YouTube history. As always, I appreciate every single one of you guys for being here with me. Happy, Merry Christmas Eve. Salute to everybody out there, man, spending some quality time with their families. Appreciate you guys so much. I know you could be anywhere in the world today, but you are here with me. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart, man. Happy holidays to everybody out there in Raider Nation, man. Some breaking news today. Big time. You know, a lot of us were really, truly worried, and I think we're still worried, right? Going into this Sunday's game against the New York Giants, where they got the quarterback, but they're trying to secure that #1 spot so they could potentially trade back and build around Jackson Dart, you know, an offensive lineman or two, another receiver opposite of Malik Neighbors. You know, they're going to build that thing around Jackson Dart. I'm not buying any of the all of the news and the headlines of, you know, the Giants potentially taking Mendoza at 1 or Dante Moore if he declares at 1. I don't think so at all. I truly believe that they're going to try and build this thing around Jackson Dart, who showed some promise in his rookie season, even with all the craziness going on around him. Cam Scatterbo out for the season, Malik Neighbors out for the season. The defense is just nasty outside of that phenomenal defensive line with Dexter Lawrence and Brian Burns and all those guys. But breaking news, you guys, today the Raiders officially, after the day after being named to the Pro Bowl back-to-back years, salute to Brock Bowers, he is officially put on the shelf for the rest of this season. So he will miss the Giants game, and he will also miss the Chiefs game, back-to-back home games at Allegiant Stadium a day after being named to the Pro Bowl. We know that Brock has been dealing with a knee injury all year. There's a few weeks out there where he's playing with the brace, missed a few weeks. This is the right move to make. I think it's a little too late in the game. I think they should have sat him a long time ago. Honestly, I'm not even saying this because of the tank. I just think that when you have a generational talent like Brock Bowers, you don't force him out there. You know, Pete had him out there in a knee brace. I didn't like it. And I understand that Pete's out there trying to compete, trying to win ball games, but you don't put a guy like a Brock Bowers or an Ashton Genty or Maxx Crosby, and we'll get there in a second as well, out there and make them potentially go out there, hurt themselves and not prolong their careers because you're forcing them out there to fight through these injuries. Everyone is hurt in the NFL. Not everyone is injured. Brock was injured this year. Max injured. You know what I mean? And again, you know, they still send him out there week in and week out, even with the brace on with Brock, and just try to fight through it. But Brock, 64 catches this year, 680 yards receiving. I mean, he'd be well over 1,000 if he wasn't dealing with the brace and the knee injury, you know, and so on and so forth. 7 touchdowns this year, averaged over 10.6 a clip. You know, this is year 2, you guys. Brock is going to be, again, a generational player at his position. This is the right move to make. You know, I was starting to question what these guys had in mind, you know, out there in Henderson with Spytech and Brady and company. I was a little nervous because, again, the team that showed up against the Houston Texans, they looked like a formidable opponent. And the Giants facing the lowly Minnesota Vikings, they look bad. Jackson Dart, 33 yards in the air against that Minnesota Vikings team. And I think they had they lost McCarthy as well. And they had a backup out there. Was it Max Brosmer, I believe, a former Minnesota product? So, yeah, man, this is going to be an interesting battle for the #1 spot this Sunday. But also, Brock is not the only guy out for the season. Jeremy Chinn has officially been placed on the IR as well, according to Tom Pelissero. He was dealing with the nagging back injury all season long. We kind of seen him like off and on the injury report all season long, but he's fought through it. But, Chinn has a 2-year deal, you guys. I do believe that he'll return next year. Jeremy Chinn he played pretty well for us this year. One of the lone bright spots, I believe, on this team this year. Yes, he's had his ups and downs, but Chinn is a really good football player. So he is officially placed on the IR. So it's going to be interesting to see, how they, who they put out there at the safety position moving forward. Is it going to be Palomau and Lonnie Johnson Jr.? We shall see. But salute to Jeremy Chinn. He's officially headed to the IR as well, according to Tom Pelissero. And this is what he had to say about Brock as well. Raiders are placing star tight end Brock Bowers on the injured reserve today, officially ending his season per sources. Bowers has dealt with the knee injury since week 1. Yes, since the New England game. With playoffs long out of reach, the decision was made to get it taken care of now and focus on being 100% in 2026. So there you have it, you guys. A little early Christmas present to us in Raider Nation. Brock officially placed on the IR for the season. Also, Jeremy Chinn, our starting safety, officially out for the season as well. It's going to be interesting to see if a few other guys are going to be placed here soon. I know that everybody was, in an uproar about what Maxx had to say, and we'll get there shortly. Salute to Maxx as well. Another Pro Bowl in the books. I believe this is his 5th straight season as a Pro Bowler. Maxx doing Maxx things. Salute to him. But again, Maxx has dealt with some knee injuries. He's fought through that, been kind of on and off the injury, the injury report as well all season long. Coming off of yesterday saying, I don't give a shit about the number 1 pick. I want to say this, you guys, because some people were taking this the wrong way, okay? You want your leader to say, I don't give a shit about the first pick. I don't care about the first pick. My job, and this is what he said, my job is to go out there and be the best defensive end in football. I love it. The best defensive end in the world. I think that's exactly what he said verbatim. So 2 things can be true, you guys, all right? That he doesn't give a shit about the number 1 pick, and that the fans are right to want this team to lose these next few weeks in order to secure the number 1 spot so we can get our quarterback of the future, whether that's Mendoza or Moore or whoever it is, or even if Spytech and company choose to trade back and just get a haul and this rebuild can kind of get set, a little bit quicker. I mean, will it really truly without a quarterback? Who's to say, to be determined. But again, I think it's a major get for us to get that number 1 spot because, again, you have options. Whether it's Mendoza or Moore, once again, if he declares, or if you just choose to just trade out and pick up a bunch of extra draft capital, potentially some firsts next year where Sellers and CJ Carr and Arch and all those guys are potentially be coming out. So again, big ups to Maxx. I see a lot of people taking this the wrong way. This is what your leader is supposed to say. I don't give a shit about the 1st round pick. I don't care about that, as he shouldn't. But again, 2 things can be true. Us fans have every right to feel like lose because we just don't give a shit. This season is over. We're 2-13. There's nothing for us to go out there and fight for. The only thing that I was looking forward to, you guys, these next few weeks was watching, Brock go out there and potentially get closer to 1K. Ashton Genty potentially rushing for over 1K. He's already over 1,000 all-purpose yards. You know what I'm saying? But and then watching Besh, watch him continue to kind of come into his own and potentially see some more JJ Pegues and Tonka Hemingway, who's looked pretty well for us, and Caleb Rogers and potentially Charles Grant and those guys as well. And I mean, Dante, where's Dante at? Where's my guy Dante? He has been not on the football field, these past few weeks. I know he's coming off of that nasty concussion, but again, just wanted to see the rooks, see what they can do these next few weeks before we enter draft season. So it's going to be interesting to see, man, if Pete and company, well, let me say Pete, let me say Spytech and company can potentially talk Maxx after securing the Pro Bowl, which he got a nice little bag for that as well, to potentially talk him into sitting these next few weeks. I know that it is probably one of the toughest asks and toughest jobs in the world to ask a guy like Maxx Crosby, who's been dealing with that knee injury all year long. It's been lingering since last year for him to go out there and just sit for the next 2 weeks. But if I'm Spy Tech, if I'm Pete and company, I'm saying, you know what, man, look, Max, we're not fighting for anything. You already got your Pro Bowl nod. You know what I mean? Like, we're out of the playoff hunt. We were out of that fucking 10 weeks ago, right? Like, just sit down the next few weeks. I'm hoping and praying that they do not call up Colton Miller. Look, keep Stone Forsythe out there, left tackle. He's been the worst left tackle in football. That's going to help the tank moving forward as well. Do not call up Colton Miller. Look, wrap his season up now. JPJ, I know he's on the IR, but put him on the season-ending IR. Some of these players, you need to just wrap it up now. Wrap it up, B. Wrap it up. In the words of the great Dave Chappelle show, wrap it up, okay? Don't even try to flirt with the idea of putting Colton Miller out there, coming off that nasty ankle injury. JPJ dealing with his stuff. And then Max, again, with the lingering knee injury. He had some ankle stuff as well. You know what I mean? Like, just look. Sit them. Sit them. Sit them. Sit them. Because, again, I can see Max go out there against this Giants offensive line and sit Jackson Dart on his ass potentially 4 times. You know what I mean? The Chiefs are fighting for nothing right now, you guys. They are kind of sold on saying, you know what? Mahomes is out for the season. We're going to sit a bunch of guys as well. We know that Minshew was out for the year, which it ended up not being a torn ACL. I believe it was a fracture. I believe something like that. But he's on the IR. He's gone for this season. So we'll be dealing with their third-string quarterback with the Chiefs in the last week of the season also. So, but look, man, both these teams we're facing the next 2 weeks, they don't give a shit. They don't care. One thing about the Chiefs, you guys, and hopefully one day we'll get there, is they don't fight for playoff spots. They don't fight for, moral compass. A moral compass. They're not fighting, just to fight. Year in and year out, they're fighting for Super Bowls. That's what they're fighting for. They're not fighting for wild card. They're not fighting, to be the second team in our division to sneak into the playoffs. They're fighting year in and year out to win our division and to get in the Super Bowl. And if that's not happening, guess what? Andy Reid is okay with just kind of throwing in the towel. Again, I think they're going to be competitive the last week at Allegiant Stadium. That may be Travis Kelce's last game of his career. Trust and believe that Andy and them are going to go out there and they're going to fight. But again, with Mahomes out of that lineup, the heart and soul, the best quarterback in football, gone for the year with that torn ACL, I just think that, they are kind of fighting for draft capital as well. I kind of changed my stance on that a little bit because I truly believe that they're going to throw the kitchen sink at us the last week of the season. But you're looking at what they did against the Tennessee Titans on the road. They got murdered. And if that's the team that we're going to be facing, we got to be worried these next few weeks. But again, the Chiefs are a team that fight for Super Bowls year in and year out. They fight to win our division year in and year out. And if they're not doing that, I think at this point they're okay with going out and potentially securing a Jeremiah Love, the best running back in this class, who would definitely help Mahomes, especially coming off that kind of injury. And we don't know what Mahomes, when he's going to be ready. A lot of people are saying that week 1, he's already, started to battle through the rehab, that he'll be ready to go week 1. Some people are saying that he may miss the first quarter or potentially half of the season next year. We'll see. But do the right thing, Pete, on the way out. Do the right thing, man. Do the right thing. Sit Max on the shelf. Do not try and flirt with the idea of calling up Colton. Put him on the season in the IR. Put Jackson on the season in the IR. And then with Genty, man, I wouldn't be upset at all either if he just magically popped up on the injury report, with something. I don't know. It could be, my dreads hurt. I don't know what it can be. Just sit him. Like, I would be okay with Genty these next 2 weeks sitting down, because I'm telling you now, Genty is going to run crazy against that Giants defense. He is going to run crazy against the Kansas City Chiefs the last week of the season. Genty's going to go out there and fight for that 1K. He wants that 1K. Simple and plain. I know that Genty would rather have wins, but trust and believe he is going to go out there and he's going to battle. So, hey, man, if you're listening, Spy Tech, Pete, company, it'd be great to sit Max. It'd be great to sit Genty, because then at that point, you're just looking at, let Juice Box go out there and see what you have with him, these last few weeks at the running back position outside of just special teams, and look at, some of the other guys. I mean, Kuntz has been starting to show signs of life these last few weeks. It looks like he's starting to get back from that knee injury. You know what I mean? Put him out there, put Snowden out there, give these guys some reps. It'd be great to see, Kuntz continue to do what he's done these last few weeks, the next 2 weeks, and potentially we can bring him back on another 1 year hometown kind of discount and see what he can do next year, fully healed from that knee injury. But I don't think that you go out there and you put your best players, especially Maxx, who's been dealing with an injury. I get if you don't sit Genty because, again, he's healthy, but Maxx has dealt with some things all year long. I think that it's safe to say it'd be okay to go sit him these next 2 weeks, especially after he already secured his 5th straight Pro Bowl nod. Salute to AR Bolin, my dog, my brother, man. Appreciate you, man. Just want to say for all of Shieldmore and the nation, happy holidays, Graphk, my guy. Thanks for you always checking on me. Thank you for being the voice of the nation. Salute to my brother for life, King, Raider Nation for life. Thank you, brother. Thank you so much. Happy holidays to you. Always good to see that you're doing good. Always try to check in on your workout journey and all that good stuff. Bolin's been around for many moons. I appreciate you, my brother, so much. Happy holidays to you and yours. And thank you so much, my brother, for the kind words, man. Means a lot. Salute to Abstract. Spy Tech Tank. You for sitting out Bowers. Now sit Maxx too. Yeah. You know what? It'd be great too to see, once again, I put it out there a few days ago. Sit Geno. Sit Geno. I know Aiden is sitting there and he's waiting. I know that, we've seen what Kenny Pickett can do and it wasn't much, right? So why not call up Cam Miller? Call up Cam Miller and see what you can do with your 6th-round guy. A guy that, for a week, at least, in preseason, we were like, oh, this guy's kind of showing that he can potentially be something down the line. Why not sit Geno? We know that, again, he's not going to be on this roster next year. Why not? Why not throw Cam Miller out there and see what he can do? I would love it because one or two things happen. We just continue to lose, and we lose even in worse fashion with Cam Miller out there. Or he goes out there and shows some signs of life, and maybe we do have a guy that's been sitting on the practice squad all year long, a guy that we can potentially develop down the road to be something. You know what I mean? So I think it's only right to put Cam Miller out there, get him active, get him rolling, and see what he can do this weekend against the Giants. Why not? Salute to Abstract, my dog, man. Appreciate you guys so much, man. Breaking news again. Salute to my brother Hammer in the building. Always good to see my dog. Brock Bowers officially out for the season with the knee injury, season-ending IR. Also, Jeremy Chinn officially placed on the IR for the season. He's been dealing with the back injury all year long, kind of been on and off of the injury report. Our starting safety is officially out. He has 1 more year on his deal. We signed him to a 2-year, $16 million deal, I believe, you guys. Was it somewhere along there? I think it was $8 million per. Don't quote me on that, but I believe that's what it was. So we're starting safety, gone for this season. Starting tight end, gone for this season. It's going to be interesting to see if these guys put Maxx on the shelf and a few other guys. Again, please do not bring Kolton Miller off the IR. Do not even think about it. I know he's been out there practicing. I've heard from several people out there that Kolton has looked good and, that he looks like he's closer to potentially going out there and playing. I'm just hoping and praying that they do the right thing and they keep our starting left tackle out for the remainder of this year, go through the offseason and get him ready and prepared to go next year, because that shoulder injury, that ankle injury, has been kind of scary seeing him deal with some back-to-back injuries. He's getting up there in age as well. We just gave him a new deal. So sit him, wait till next year, get him and JPJ back out there in the starting unit, and let's get things moving, man. Salute to Top Beats in the building, my brother, man. It's always good to see my dog in the building, man. Big Jim says, number 1 pick isn't just about the quarterback. It's about attracting a coach. Tell him, and we've talked about that, Jim, the entire time over here. Again, you guys, picking up the number 1 spot. Think about this. The Giants need a head coach. They need a new head coach, right? And what's more attractive than already having Jackson Dart in the building, a quarterback that you can build around? You already have the quarterback. You have the quarterback. So a new coach can say, oh, I would love to go to New York, even though that media up there in the Northeast is tough to deal with. Again, I got my quarterback. We seen it last year. Vrabel, New England, Drake May, Ben Johnson, Chicago, Caleb Williams, and the list goes on, right? We've seen teams do year in and year out, coaches go to other teams because they already have that quarterback in place. If the Giants get the number 1 spot, look, some of these guys, the Chris Shulers of the world, the LaFleurs of the world, whoever it is, the QB acts of the world, they're going to say, man, we can trade back, get us a guard, a tackle in this year's class, build around Jackson Dart, get us a number one wide receiver, whether it's Tate out of Ohio State or Jordan Tyson, Arizona State, one of those guys, Lemon, over at USC, one of those type of guys. That is an attractive job when you already have Jackson Dart in the building. So if you secure this number one spot, not only do you potentially get your quarterback of the future, but you get your pick of the litter at the coaching spot as well. Tom Brady and SpyTech have a great selling point going into the draft. Hey, into the offseason, we have the number one pick. You can go get your quarterback. You can develop him. And look, man, we'll give you some time to make that thing happen. So again, it is very, very attractive to lose these next 2 weeks for another head coach to potentially come in, get his guy at the quarterback position and develop him. And what is a great thing also, you guys, for a head coach coming in with a rookie quarterback is there's not a lot of pressure there in year one. There's not a lot of pressure. What has happened these last few years? AP, one and done. Pete Carroll, it's looking like one and done. You bring in your next guy, you say, look, it's a process. It's not a lot of rookie quarterbacks that come in and they're phenomenal off the rip. It's going to take some time. So it takes a lot of pressure off whatever coach comes in to run this show to develop the rook and bring him in and develop him the right way. So look, man, I'm saying right now, these next 2 weeks are very, very critical for this team and its future moving forward, securing the quarterback of the future, but not only that, the head coach of the future and your OC and it trickles down, right? So, look, I'm excited. Salute to my guy, Jim, man. Appreciate you, brother. Kevin, I don't see in any world we do. I don't see in any world. This fan base is over him. This fan base is over his son, calling the O-line. We're over his football son, Geno Smith. I don't see in any world that Pete is back at all. Again, all signs are pointing to him being out in the next few weeks. Black Monday is going to be an interesting day. I think he's gone, Kev. Look, 99.9%, he's gone. There's too many potential really good prospects in terms of coaches in this next, process in this offseason. Like, you can't pass up on the potential of bringing in a Shula or a Kubiak or any of these type of guys to keep Pete around after potentially going 2-15. There's no way. There's no way at all, man. Salute to my brother, Ty Bones. What do y'all think about Beck from the Hurt? No, sirree, Bob. In the great words of Mac Dre, not my job. I don't do that. No. And Beck will probably end up being maybe I think maybe a third, fourth round pick at best. He had a decent year out there with Miami. Again, they had a really good defense this year. I think they had a really good O-line out there also. They really had a really good O-line out there. But no, I've never been a Carson Beck guy. I didn't like him at Georgia, and I definitely don't like him in Miami. I would stay the hell away from Carson Beck. If you're going to get one guy in this draft and it's later, I'm looking at Drew Allar. I know a lot of people don't like him. I get it. I understand it. I have my own reasons for it. If you're going to wait till the mid rounds to go get something, get a quarterback, which I don't think they will. Again, if we secure the number one spot, there's so many question marks about what we're going to do, right? Yesterday, I put a tweet out there where I felt like I was leaning towards them potentially trading out and getting their quarterback of the future in 2027. The CJ Carrs of the world. Tom Brady came out and said, a few weeks ago that, CJ Carr to him is the best college prospect at the quarterback position since Joe Burrow. And, the connection with CJ Carr's grandfather, Michigan, Tom Brady, right? Again, there's not a guarantee that we can get CJ Carr. And next year, you never know. CJ Carr may shit the bed. I hope it doesn't because I'm a Notre Dame guy. But we'll see. Abstract. Pete's handling of JPJ is enough for me not to bring his ass back. F up out of here. So to my guy, Abstract. So many. He's given us so many reasons, Abstract. So many reasons. And we went over every single one of them a million times over here at OLV Raiders Network, right? The JPJ situation, battling out with Alex Kappa. And then when JPJ goes down, now it's Kappa at center, and then Will putting him at center. And, it's just, he's made a mockery of this football team. So, it's just sad to see how far he's kind of fallen from grace since his glory days in Seattle with the Legion of Boom. T-Nip, Would Richie Incognito ever take an O-line coach job? I think he would. He loves the Raiders. He loves this franchise, loves the organization, loved his time with us. 4-time Pro Bowler, would definitely love, and he's been in that building several times, and he's kind of been a voice in that building as well. I know he's doing the Gilbert Arenas podcast thing with Skip and Talib and those guys. So I don't know where he is in terms of coaching, but I can say this: a ton of these guys, former players, would love to get in that building. Salute to my guy, Jalen Richard. He's been out there working. I know Richie would love it. We'll see. Again, I don't know if they're going to look that direction, but I would love to have Richie in the building to be a voice, because he personifies the old Raider mentality, just a grimy, just filthy, dirty motherfucker on the O-line. That's what you want out of these guys. Whatever this was this year, get that stink out of here. It was just nasty. Salute to Bowling. Graphk, do you think we can easily the next coach? Wait. Graphk, do you think we can easy the next coach mind so we can build this the right way? I feel we need to do this right and not rush the rebuild. Reword that, Bowling, if you can, because maybe it's too early in the game and I haven't had my coffee yet, but reword that if you can, my brother. Salute to Tartan. Merry Christmas to you, the family, and Raider Nation. Merry Christmas to you as well, my brother. And thank you so much on the $5 piece, man. Salute to you and yours. My dog Tartan in the building. Salute to Ant as well on the $5. Merry Christmas, bro. I can't believe we're about to fumble the #1 pick. Shake, man. Why is it that? Bro, we're starting to do some things here, Ant. I mean, do you see the headline of this show right now? Brock Bowers is officially on the IR. He's done for the season. He's done for the season with the knee injury. Jeremy Chinn on the IR with that back injury. He's gone for the season. So again, if we can figure out a way to talk Maxx into doing the same thing and going to get healthy, we may be playing, we may be going in the right direction here. Because I can tell you right now, I've spoken to several Giants creators and Giants fans and people that are tied to that organization. And I'll tell you right now, they don't give a shit about winning these next 2 games. They do not care. They want that #1 spot so they can trade back and build that team up around Jackson Dart. So I'm telling you now, they're going out trying to lose on Sunday on the road, where it's already tough to travel all the way far east out to Vegas to play. So, I'm just saying, man, salute to my guy Ant, though. But brother, look, man, we're doing some of the right things here. Dan says, I'm dyslexic before my coffee too. He's mine's for the future head coach, so he doesn't feel like he has 1 year to prove in the right. Okay, Bowen, maybe I'm just not getting it, my brother. But I'll say this. Let's just lose out these next 2 weeks. That's it. 2 more losses, and I think we're going to have our pick of the litter as long as we're in a position to locate our quarterback of the future. Again, you guys, this becomes a very, very attractive destination. State-of-the-art facilities, stadium, the headquarters, Brady in the building, all the money, that Vegas has tied, there's so much, no state tax. You don't think that Chris Shula would love to move a few hours east to Las Vegas, away from California, where he has no state tax? You don't think that potentially LaFleur would like to do so as well? I'm just saying, and salute to my guy, C. Wood. He put it out there on Twitter the other day as well, man. He would love to see LaFleur. I know he didn't really get it right out there with the Jets as the OC. I think, Saleh fired him out there his first stint as the OC with the Jets, I believe. But again, C. Wood put it out there on one of my posts as well on Twitter that, he would love to see one of those guys from that Shanahan tree come in and be the guy. So, oh yeah, Thomas, I'm about to do it. I got it right here. I've had my Celsius though, but this didn't do shit. This didn't do anything. I have a problem with caffeine, bro. A really, really major problem with it. So get some questions in, you guys. We're not going to be here all night again. I know this is Christmas Eve. Thank you guys for being here with me. There's some breaking news today. Again, you guys, we have officially sat Brock Bowers down for the remainder of the season, and Jeremy Chinn will be sat also with that lingering back injury. He will be on the shelf for the next 2 weeks as well. So it looks like we may see a Lonnie Johnson-Palomau duo out there at the safety spot, starting against the Giants and the Chiefs the last 2 weeks of this season. Salute to D. Rich. Dante Moore and Mike LaFleur will make Spy Tech a champion. Talk. And D, I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting to see if he declares. If he declares, I'm kind of like rooting for Oregon to win the whole thing now, because if they do, this makes our offseason, even if we win one game, it makes our offseason so much more easier. Honestly, I'm not an Oregon guy. I'm not an Oregon Ducks fan. I'm a Notre Dame guy, but I am damn near low key, high key rooting for Oregon to win the whole thing. So Dante Moore says, I'm going to go ahead and just, I don't, there's nothing else to prove here. Nothing else to prove here. Let me go into the draft. And now if you're sitting there at 1 or 2 or wherever you are, there's still a chance for you to secure your quarterback of the future if you end up beating the Chiefs or the Giants, or potentially beating 2, where we can end up at the 7 spot, which is nasty, nasty work. But again, other teams are still playing 2 more weeks as well, you guys. Arizona, the other teams around us, the Jets, the Saints. So definitely something to monitor this next 2 weeks, the other teams that are kind of in the hunt for that potential number 1 spot. So 2-4, my dog, man. Appreciate you, brother, for being here. Yeah, Dan, we can't go any lower than 7 at this point, because I think the other teams below that are 2 games higher than us in terms of the win column. So I don't think we can go any lower than the 7 spot right now, which is still kind of scary. I don't want to be anywhere near that. Ty, man, have a great holiday, my brother. Salute to my guy, Ty Bones. Salute to Spivey in the building, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. My brother, I appreciate you so much. The Kevin Nash of Mount Shillmore. Salute to all my new members in the building. If you guys want to become Green Dot Gang, hit the link. It's pinned up top. It definitely helps us keep the lights on over here, man. So Joseph says, I know for sure Pete didn't want to place Bowers on Yair. That was somebody else. Of course. You know that. Salute to CGR as well, my brother in the building. Pete definitely wanted to win out these next 2 weeks. You don't think that Gino would love to go out there and derail this shit on the way out and make this fan base hate him even more? You don't think that Pete already knows that, the writing is on the wall, and that he would love to just potentially derail our future winning these next 2 weeks? Oh yeah, Spytech had to definitely interject here. Brady definitely had to interject here and say, look, we're going to start sitting some of our guys, because again, there's 2 teams in front of us, the Chiefs and Giants, that are playing for nothing, just like we are. Well, we're playing for something. Those 2 teams aren't playing for anything, because again, the Giants already have their quarterback in the building. Let me see. Yep, Reese, and you've been seeing it, right? Salute to my guy. You've been seeing it recently more. Caleb Rogers out there starting now. Charles Grant slowly but surely getting some reps in some of those jumbo packages. Besh, at this point looks kind of like our number 1 receiver. You know what I mean? And that's really bad, because he hasn't been very productive, but he's starting to show some signs out there as our 2nd round wide receiver out of TCU, right? So, hey man, strip all that power away from him. Play the young guys, and let's see what we can do these next few weeks with all those guys from Spytech's first draft class. CGR, we are 900 away. We're plenty away from 30K. So we have a lofty goal that we're going to try to hit during the offseason with free agency and the draft. Hopefully we can find a way to get 900 more to hit that 30K. It'd be a blessing to be able to go in the next season with that new milestone hit. It'd be really dope, really dope. That is one of my main goals when I first started this, was 30K. Some people say 15, some people say 20, 30K. 30 was always the number for some strange reason to me. It's 30, 50, and 100. So would love to get to 30 and have some fun with the giveaway show. So you guys hit that subscribe button if you're not subscribed yet. We got over 1,000 people in the room. Hit those likes and hit that subscribe button. West San Jose, what happens if it ends in a tie and we both lose out? To be honest with you, I don't really, if we tie and we both lose out, I'm assuming tie goes to the runner, like baseball, right? The Giants are at number 1 over us right now. So I'm assuming, this is just me kind of spitballing here, West San Ho. But if they are the number 1 team right now, we tie, and then, they lose out, then we lose out. I'm assuming tie goes to the runner and it goes to the Giants. I'm assuming here. So I haven't done my homework, haven't done my due diligence there in terms of that. But I'm assuming that it goes to the Giants. But I could be totally wrong. Totally wrong. Wes says, love that you're big on Dante as well. He throws with elite, great anticipation. He's special. Yeah, I like watching that kid play. Love watching that kid play. And we're going to do January 1st, you guys, the Oregon-Texas Tech game and the Alabama-Indiana game January 1st. So if you guys are around, pull up. Me and Hammer will definitely be calling both games. Well, let me say this. If we lose this Sunday, for sure, we're going to do both those games January 1st. It just really depended on where we are in terms of drafting. If we're not anywhere near them, then why would we really call those games, right? So right now, January 1st, we'll be calling those games back-to-back. Texas Tech, Oregon, Alabama, Ty Simpson versus Indiana and Fernando Mendoza. So stay tuned for that. Salute to D. My cousin is a regional scout for the Denver Broncos. By all indications, he's expected to declare. Hoping, D. I'm hoping, because there was a lot of rumors and rumblings coming out that he was going to go back, to Oregon. So hopefully you're right, brother. And I guarantee if he's a regional scout, I guarantee, D, I ran into your cousin at one of these Shrine Bowls or one of these things that we've covered. I was hanging out with a bunch of the Denver Broncos scouts last year at the Shrine Bowl during the week of practices. I guarantee you I ran into your cousin. That's dope. Salute to my guy, D Rich, man. Appreciate you, brother. Okay, they always go by strength of schedule to break the tie, right? And then right now the Giants are number one because of strength of schedule. So I'm assuming that they would still be there, right, Caps? Somebody help me with this. He said, flip the coin. Oh, man. Reese said, that's a great comparison. Dante is the Ja Morant, explosive, excitement. Mendoza is the safe, shy Alexander pick. Look, right now I would take an early Ja Morant, not the Ja Morant we're seeing now with all the guns and shit. But and I would definitely love a Shai Alexander, probably the best basketball player in the NBA right now. So if you get either one of those, you can't lose. Can't lose. Yeah, Jaden definitely went back to USC, and he should be coming out declaring in 2027. So Thomas says, Graphk, who is the bigger heel currently to you, Pete Carroll or Gunther? Currently, it's going to be Pete Carroll, of course. But as a diehard Raider fan, I don't think I've ever seen someone as bad as Paul Gunther calling the defense. Like, we've had players that played on that team under him. Salute to my brother, Garyon Conley, who said his defense made absolutely no sense. Schematically, it made zero sense. And I celebrated when he got fired. For those who've been around this channel for a long time, we did a special show for him getting let go. But I'll say this, Thomas. This year, if Pete Carroll's struggles get us our number one guy, I will forever have a special place in my heart for Pete Carroll. Paul Gunther was just disgusting. It seemed as though offensively, we can get some things rolling, but the defense was just terrible. So currently, though, is Pete Carroll. But again, if he can help us secure that number one spot, man, Pete may go down to the Raider Hall of Fame, man. Oh, Gunther. Oh, I thought you meant Paul Gunther. I thought you meant our former defensive coordinator. Oh, shit. Okay, who's the bigger heel currently to? Oh, okay. Okay, my bad. I read that wrong. Again, let me drink some of this coffee, man. All right. I was thinking about Paul Gunther. I'm thinking we're talking about Raider shit here. But it's got to be Gunther. It's got to be Gunther. He choked out, John Cena, a lot of people's goats. So it has to be Gunther. I thought it was Paul Gunther. Any chance I get to bash Paul Gunther, you guys, I'm going to take every opportunity to do so. So again, that's my apologies. You got any chance that I get to talk shit about Paul Gunther, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. So yeah, I just took that as let me shoot my shot here. So DeRisi, draft Mendoza. With our luck, Ice shows up draft day. Ice shows up draft day? What you mean, Reese? Am I tweaking today, you guys? Maybe it's just this Christmas hangover, like just so much going on and money being spent and wrapping presents and shit. Am I not understanding what the hell is going on today here? Ice shows up draft day? Are you talking about it snowing in Pittsburgh? Reese, my brother, please let me know. Oh my God, dog. No, you didn't mean that, Reese. Let me get Reese the hell out of here, man. You stink, Reese. Oh my God. Reese, what are you doing? What are you doing? What? I can't believe I read that shit out loud. You're going to get us canceled over here at OLV. What are you doing? Reese, you've been here for way too long, bro. Come on, man. What in the hell is going on here, bro? I got to get the hell out of here in a second, man. Y'all are tweaking on Merry Christmas Eve. It's nasty work. Salute to my brother.com. Yo, Frank the Tank. What up with my brother? Nasty season, but we have to trust the process. I'm preparing for next year. We have to link, bro. Definitely, my brother. Salute to my guy.com. Always good to see my brother. I thought I was going to run into you in Cincinnati, brother. I hit you up, you know what I mean, again. But we definitely got to double back next year, my brother, for sure. For sure, man. And I think that we may have an opportunity. We may play in Cleveland next year, I believe, right? I think that's one of the potential road games. That may be one. So if we do, .com, we definitely got a link up out there. And if you're going to go to the draft this year in Pittsburgh, I know that's not far of a drive for you. Let me know. We're planning on going out there as well. Salute to the 1,100 people here in the building. Get those likes up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, man, also hit that subscribe button. As always, appreciate you guys so much. Rich, love the show, Graphk. Just want to wish the Raider Nation a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Raider Nation for life. We love you too, brother. Thank you, Rich, for the kind words. Salute to my guy, Jonar. 71,734,847 left after. Sign Pickens, Jonah Williams, Joel Bonita. Okay, it's too early for this shit. Sheldon Rankins, Devin Bush, Jamel Dean, Kenneth Walker, Dante Fowler Jr., release Geno, trade Tyree and Aiden. I don't know where you're going to trade Tyree at this point. I don't know who's going to go ahead and take Aiden either. After drafting Mendoza, there's a lot to take. There's a lot to unpack here, Jonar. You guys are, let me get some more coffee, man. There's a lot to unpack here, okay? Let me say this. You're not going to get all that. It's just not going to happen, okay? It's not. We'll be lucky to get a few of those names. Do I think that Pickens coming off his first Pro Bowl, salute to him, really good to see that, you know, he got his first Pro Bowl in the bag with the Dallas Cowboys. He played really well in the absence of CeeDee Lamb and shit. He's continued to play great since his return. That is a player that if we can find a way, again, do you want to go pay massive amount of money for George Pickens? Only if you have the number one draft pick. Only if you have the number one draft pick and you know you're going to get your quarterback in April, do you flirt with the idea of potentially bringing in a hot commodity at the wide receiver position? That is the only way you really even flirt with that idea. So again, I'm not going to play with that thought process until we secure that number one spot. If we do, I will definitely think about it. But again, the Dallas Cowboys, I live in Dallas. Everyone out here is saying, you guys, that they're looking to bring him back. Okay, so they're looking to build on what they got, you know, what they're putting together this year in Dallas. Siobhan Revel came back. You know, the young linebacker out of Texas came back. They went and got, you know, some interesting players in Quinn Williams and you know, Frank, was it Frank Clark, I believe, from Green Bay in that Micah trade. So again, this is a lot to unpack. I'll hold on to all this, but I'll say this. There's no reason to go get, to me, a veteran running back in free agency. Like, for what? Honestly, this is a young man's game at the running back position. What you do is you have Ashton Genty, who you just took at 6, right? And then you go get you one in this year's draft class. I wouldn't be upset if, let's just say Jadarian Price was available in the 4th round. Let's just say he fell to the 4th, which I think he'll be a 3rd round pick. But if he's there in the 4th and you have 3 picks, go get Price. Him, Price, and Ashton Genty could potentially be that, you know, Jadarian Price, Jeremiah Love duo in Notre Dame. I would love that. But I'm not going to get a running back in free agency. I don't think it's really necessarily a need. You still have Dylan under contract. Go get you one in the draft. Get you a young guy. It's a young man's game. You know what I mean? Mostert's definitely gone. You know, he's up there in age. We're going to move on from him. He was a Chip Kelly guy from their time with the Niners. So he'll be out of here. But get you a young running back. But we'll go over a lot of those names, Jonar, in the offseason when we start doing our free agency shows, my brother. Salute to you, man. Let me see. Salute to Bolin again. Graphk, Shillmore should do a trip if Raiders come to Cali for the Niners game next season. Graphk coming home party. Definitely. That is a game I should definitely be at, Bolin. I'm excited to go watch my team in the Bay Area back home. So definitely, I'm definitely locked in for that game in Santa Clara. Definitely. Salute to my guy, Bolin. And I've already talked to the guys as well. Definitely want to show them around the crib. Salute to my guy Viram, man, gifting 5 OLV Raiders Network memberships. My brother, salute to you. As always, salute to all the new members here in the building because of my guy Viram 5, man. Appreciate you. If you missed out on those 5 and you want to become a member, hit the link. It's pinned up top. Yes, yes. Joey says, that's a hard jersey. Appreciate you, brother. One of my dogs, one of the subscribers of our channel gave us these for one of our draft parties. We got Graphk on the back and all that. I decided to wear it today, man. You know what I mean? So, yeah. And then my Reebok old school Raiders hat that I never get an opportunity to wear. I thought it would go good with it. Salute to Joey, man. My guy. Let me see. Spivey says 30K in my autographed Jim Otto jersey to the fam. That'd be dope. Salute to my guy Spivey, man. He said we should take a flyer on Devontae Wyatt. Lux, once again, we're going to talk a ton moving forward. 2 more weeks, brother, and we're going to get into our free agency and draft bag heavy. 2 more games, Giants, Chiefs, and we're going to jump into that bag, something super crazy. And we're going to bring on some dope guests that can come through and help give their opinions and their takes on this draft class and free agency. So stay tuned, my brother. Abstract, appreciate you, man. You're the GOAT, brother. You're the GOAT. Jorge, no, there's no reason. I wouldn't have an issue with having DC be somewhat, a part of, what we got going on out there, but I don't think that it makes any sense for him to be a QB coach. He's never coached before, so it makes no sense. I don't want to do the old Raiders shit where we just bring in guys to bring in guys. You know what I mean? Like, it's the same thing with, you guys brought up Richie Incognito. I would love for him to be a voice in the building and come in and kind of help try to get that O-line together for next year, even if it's DC coming in and, kind of whispering in Fernando Mendoza's ear a little bit. They're both, God-fearing dudes. DC could come in and help Fernando kind of, that'd be great. But again, I don't think there's any reason to bring him in as a quarterback's coach. So I don't think that it makes any sense. But again, a voice to come in and help your rookie quarterback, that'd be great. That'd be great. We have over $100 million, Bullen, and potentially more. You move on from Geno, you save $8 million. You can move off of Palomao's deal. I believe that saves you a couple of dollars. You can move off of Alex Kappa's deal, save you a couple of dollars. Also, you can restructure a few deals if you choose to. We're well over $100 million. I think we're roughly around somewhere 107 to 110 right now, somewhere in that range. There's different sources with how much money we have right now, but a lot of those ones I see is somewhere in that 107 to 110 range, and we can potentially free up more as well. So stay tuned. Cap says, wouldn't mind signing a Wan'Dale. Wan'Dale, man, has looked good at times with the Giants this year. I was a big fan of him coming out of Kentucky. I would love it. Another speedster, Trey Tucker on his last year of his deal next year. I wouldn't be mad about that. That'd be nice. I like Wan'Dale Robinson. He's a stud, man. Salute to my guy, Tub. Graphk, you were my most watched channel this year. Thanks for that content. Wishing you and your family well during the holiday season, man. Appreciate you, my brother. Thank you. Thank you so much, man. You as well, my brother. So the Q, any word, nothing yet on the Christian Wilkins situation. And again, you guys, we knew that this was going to take some time. We knew that, it was going to be a hard fought, battle between the Raiders and Christian Wilkins and his representation of how much guaranteed money should still, or whatever it is. It's the guaranteed money and him trying to get some of that money back from his contract. In time, we'll see where we go with this. Trap, we didn't fumble Jacoby, brother. We didn't. Again, he's 29 years old. He's in a really great situation now where he doesn't, right now he may look like their number one, but he doesn't have to be their number one. This is a great spot for Jacoby. He has a young Brian Thomas out there. He has a young Travis Hunter who's out for the season right now. But again, he went to a great situation, and we just drafted Jack Besh, man, a younger version of him. We did not fumble Jacoby. Trap, why do you want to allocate $20 million to him just because? You literally have a player that you drafted to come in and take his spot. They had a plan with him, and they executed it. It worked out for both parties. We don't have to pay $20 million for Jacoby, which makes no sense right now for us to do anyways. A number 2 wide receiver, and Jacksonville gets their guy who helps Trevor Lawrence and those guys take that offense to the next level and potentially go on a run in the playoffs. It worked out for both. We didn't fumble that at all, brother, at all. Salute to Jorge. I'd love the Raiders to hire Jesse Minter and sign Linderbaum. Linderbaum, to me, is the big fish this offseason. If we can find a way to get the two-time Pro Bowl center out of Baltimore to Las Vegas. I think that Tom and Spytek they hit free agency out the ballpark. If we can find a way to get Linderbaum, that would be great. And Mentor, the defensive coordinator for the Chargers, is going to be a very, very hot commodity this offseason. I don't know if he's ready to take the next leap and become a head coach yet. I don't know if he would prefer to remain a defensive coordinator for the Chargers. He's a Harbaugh guy from their time in Michigan. We shall see, but he is definitely going to be a hot name going into this year's coaching, circuit. We'll see. We'll see. Trap says, we don't have a number 1 or number 2 wide receiver now, though. We have a bunch of backups out there. We don't know, Trap. We don't know. We don't know. The Rams didn't know that Puka was going to be one of the best wide receivers in football when they drafted him. You got to give these guys some time to develop, man. Like, Besh has not gotten a lot of reps. Dante has not been out there at all lately. And I'm not here to sell you guys on both those guys and say they could be your number. I'm telling you now, though, Besh can clearly, at the minimum, be your number 2 guy for sure. So, and we have a ton of money, Trap, and we have a full draft class, bro. Go get your guy. Go get your guy. Go get your guy. Just don't get him in the top 10 this year. You know what I mean? But, man, look, we don't have our quarterback, so I'm not worried about a wide receiver right now. I'm just not. Get your quarterback first, and then we can start talking about, these wide receivers and improving that wide receiving group. But, again, I like the young guys that we have in that group right now. Tucker, and Dante and Besh, those guys, potentially Shedrick Jackson could be a part of this unit moving forward. Again, we'll get the number 1 guy. That shit takes time, but let's go find our quarterback first. Let's build up the O-line first. Let's get the trenches on the defensive side. Let's get Max some help before we start thinking about a wide receiver 1. It just makes no sense to me. Caleb Downs would be an excellent pick. Chappie, that is one of my favorite players in this draft class, the safety out of Ohio State. He is going to be, to me, a potential perennial all-pro type player. But again, the only way you look at that, Chap, is if we win these next 2 and we end up at the 7th spot, then you could potentially say, you know what, take the best player available. And that could be a Caleb Downs right there. Or potentially an offensive lineman like a Fano, if those guys are available, you go that direction. But Caleb Downs is definitely a phenomenal football player. So, Tony, if he drops, you get him. He's a stud, the young kid out of Texas Tech. I've took him damn near in every one of my mock drafts. If he's there in the 4th round, you take him. If he's there in the 3rd round, he's available. Take him. Why not? We need a whole new linebacking group next offseason. We have Lindenberg and Eichenberg. To me, that's it. Everybody else can go. So you definitely need to go get a few of those guys in this deep linebacking class in the 2026 draft class for sure. Thomas says, if you could pick any 5 players in the league and put them on our Raiders with our current roster, who are you picking? AFC West players excluded. This is for Graphk in the chat. I like that. This is pretty easy. If we have to get away from the AFC West, some people may not agree because of the injury history, right? But whatever. It is what it is. You know what? I might go with a rookie deal quarterback. I may even go with Drake May. Like, honestly, but I could go in that direction. But again, it's really very early on that. You know what? Let's keep it simple. Give me Joe Burrow. Give me Fred Warner at the linebacker position. You can't – those kind of talents don't grow on trees. Give me Myles Garrett, opposite of Maxx Crosby. Give me Patrick Surtain at the cornerback position. And then you know what? Give Burrow his guy. Give him a Chase or a Justin Jefferson. Why not? Just for shits and giggles. Or you know what? No, give me Sewell. Give me Penei Sewell. Give me him at right tackle. Opposite of Colton Miller, which you got put JPJ back at center. Penei Sewell, Joe Burrow at the quarterback position, Fred Warner at the linebacker spot, Myles Garrett opposite of Maxx Crosby, and then give me Patrick Surtain at the cornerback position. Why not? Oh, shit, no AFC West. Fuck. I know I got to look at a corner. No AFC West, right? Got to look at a corner. Damn. That's a good question. Can't take Pat. That's a good question. I got to think about that last spot. But I would definitely take Penei Sewell at right tackle. Oh, West, you know what? Kyle Hamilton. That's my guy. He is such a stud, man. I may have to take him or Christian Gonzalez. Them two, or potentially a Derek Stingley Jr. Oh, shit. Sauce Gardner is not him, Lux. I would not take him at all. I've never been that big of a fan of Sauce Gardner. Liked him at Cincinnati, but I didn't think he was going to be that dude at the next level. And honestly, I'm good. I would take a Christian Gonzalez over him 10 times out of 10, or a Derek Stingley Jr. for sure. So wipe them feet, y'all. Hit them thumbs up. If you guys are not subscribed yet, what are y'all waiting on? Again, appreciate you guys so much for being here. We're about to hit that hour mark. This wasn't going to be a long show, you guys. I know we have about 1,200 people here in the building. I would hate to leave with that many people, but me and the beautiful wife got to head over to Trader Joe's and a few other spots to go get some food and all that good stuff for tomorrow. We got to start wrapping up these gifts and stuff for tomorrow. So again, for those who are just joining, there was some breaking news today. Brock Bowers officially out for the season with that knee injury. He's officially on the shelf, placed on the IR. And Jeremy Chinn with the back injury, he is officially out for the season as well. So it's going to be interesting to see leading up to Sunday if they choose to do the same thing with Maxx. If they officially place maybe Colton Miller on the IR for the season, we'll see. Hopefully there's some more moves leading up to Sunday where it definitely keeps us from potentially beating the New York Giants at Allegiant Stadium this Sunday. So salute to everybody here in the building. As always, Graphk and Wasted and Graphk show you guys Friday, day after Christmas. Stay tuned. We will be here to break down everything Raiders related. And then this weekend, me and Hammer will be calling the game as we always do. Merry Christmas, you guys. Love, love, love every single one of you guys in Raider Nation. You guys are the ones always. I hate that I repeat myself, but you guys are the ones that make this thing work over here at my channel and over here at Shieldmore as a collective. Without you guys, this does not work. So, pat yourselves on the back, man. Thank you guys so much for the continuous support that you pour out year in and year out with this platform and my guys' platforms. Have a wonderful, wonderful Christmas, man. I hope that you guys all remain safe. You guys have all your family surrounding you, wherever you are. Just enjoy this Christmas, man. And hopefully we get some more good news leading up to Sunday as we face the New York Giants at home this Sunday at Allegiant Stadium. Love every single one of you guys, man. I'm outro. Enjoy your Christmas. One. Yo, real quick, you guys, I don't want to be rude. I know a lot of people are leaving right now. I just seen my brother S. Dot's super, so I want to read it on the way out. I don't want my brother to feel like he wasted any money. I'm just trying to figure out how you can quickly judge your rookie receivers just yet when you realize that your offensive coordinator was trash. Asparagus. There you go. Facts, S. Dot. Now back to the outro.